What's going on, guys? RBG here, bringing you an update on the latest Transformers game. I intended to get this video out a lot sooner, but if you've been following the news, then you know that Texas and a handful of other locations in the US underwent a devastating arctic blast over the past few days. And unfortunately, I was one of the unlucky individuals who was caught in it. Since my town went through a blackout, I didn't have electricity or the internet to get this thing out to you guys. But things have somewhat gone back to normal, and I can finally give you guys an update on this new TF game that's currently going under the working name Transformers Online. We've been getting some awesome information on it, and we have even more awesome info to go over today, so stay tuned. Now, before we get started on the video, I gotta give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Tubebuddy. As a successful YouTube user, I often get questions asking what I use to get my videos tons of views, and the answer to that is Tubebuddy. This thing has helped me take my channel to the next level in ways I never imagined. It's a browser extension that helps new and experienced YouTubers grow fast and optimize their channels. I've been using this extension for years, and it's constantly getting updated with new features, like the SEO tool that helps me come up with the perfect title, description, and tags to get more people to click on my videos. It even provides you with analytics beside your videos to see how much traffic your video is generating from various social media sites. The extension is absolutely free, but as a special offer, we're giving a 50% discount for channels that have less than 1,000 subscribers that purchase the Pro upgrade. All you have to do is enter in the code RisingStarBuddy. So if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel or taking your content to the next level, download the extension now. You can do so by clicking on this link that'll be provided in the description of this video. But yeah, guys, this supposed new Transformers game seems to be really manifesting into an actual thing. Like, we had heard multiple rumors of how Certain Affinity and Hasbro were collaborating to create a brand new title, and for a while things just went cold in terms of updates. We're talking years of silence from both parties revolving around this game. So rightfully so, people were beginning to suspect that this thing would never leave the cutting room floor. And if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was one of those naysayers, because Hasbro really hasn't done a lot with the IP in terms of video games, and what little they have done hasn't necessarily been noteworthy. The most they've done is partner up with mobile game developers to create some pretty decent titles. I thought Transformers Force to Fight was an okay game, especially from a design standpoint, but everything has been pretty meh in my honest opinion. The last TF game we had for the consoles was Transformers Battlegrounds, which isn't saying much. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they allowed that game to be released. It wasn't even worthy of being on the PlayStation 4, let alone Nintendo Switch. But ever since Transformers Devastation was released, the games have gotten significantly worse, and the TF games that look cool weren't even available to the US. In the last video, I talked about the rumors that this new game would be very similar to Warframe, and how I thought it was very coincidental because Warframe just so happens to be owned by the same company that's partnered with Certain Affinity to make TF Online. And many of you pointed out that that company, which is Leyou, is owned by a bigger entity, that being Tencent. And I know that, but I don't think Tencent is working directly with the developers to make this upcoming title. Ironically enough, they were directly involved with a TF project that was also called Transformers Online a few years prior. And that's one of those games that the Western audience didn't have the luxuries of playing unless they registered under a Chinese account. And if you did get a chance to play it or saw any of the gameplay footage, you saw that it was nothing more than an Overwatch clone with Transformers. Like, there was no other way to look at it. When you saw Optimus using that giant shield, you instantly thought of Winston, and when you see Crosshairs performing this crazy rapid fire spinneroonie, you instantly think of the Reaper. And this is most likely why the property was exclusive to China, right? Because Tencent knew that they were basically making a clone of another property. And we're supposedly getting a game that's gonna be very similar to Warframe. Now, one thing that I think we can't deny about this previous TF Online game is that the design and overall presentation is one of the best selling points. Like, it's kind of weird to describe, but it's like a mix of the Bayformers and War for Cybertron. That's the kind of style I wouldn't mind for a Transformers game, especially if it's done right. And since Tencent worked on that game and now owns this new Transformers game, I wouldn't mind if they outsourced some of the devs that worked on the designs for the previous TF Online game to work on this one. But I'm thinking they won't, because Leyou and Certain Affinity were already working on this title shortly before Leyou was acquired by Tencent. But anyways, guys, as you read by the title, apparently we're getting very close to an official reveal for this game. About a week ago, Certain Affinity took to their official website where they hinted that they could possibly announce the game very soon. They say, and I quote, "Today we're excited to reveal that we're leading development on a new original IP. Are we excited to take on a genre and style of a game that we've always loved? Thrilled beyond words. Are we honored to be bringing this game to the market? Indescribably so. Are there any tantalizing details regarding this new venture? More than we can say, and we mean that quite literally. The particulars of this new game are still very much under wraps. All we can say for now is that this ambitious project is a combination of our goals to steadily and healthily grow a world-class team to create an original IP. So as you hear, Certain Affinity is alluding to this quote-unquote original IP that's going to be one of the most ambitious titles they ever worked on. And I highly suspect that they're talking about the Transformers Online game, because they've been working on this project for a while, and unless they've expanded into this mega powerhouse studio, I don't see them suddenly jumping ship and working on something entirely different. And I know some of you are probably saying to yourself, but they said they're working on an original IP, and Transformers isn't exactly an IP that's owned by them or original. And that's true, but I think it's important to remember that a studio can take any already existing licensed property and treat it like a brand new IP. The developers over at High Moon made that their main objective when they worked on the Cybertron games. Like, they were dead set on creating something that stands out from any other TF project before it. And as we all know, War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron basically kicked off the aligned continuity, which is crazy when you look back at it. Like, who would have ever thought that the games would eventually start a brand new universe that would eventually lead into shows like Transformers Prime and Robots in Disguise? That's what it's all about, man. Taking these properties and completely turning them on their head, whether it be through shows, toys, or comics. Speaking of toys, we've heard that Certain Affinity and Hasbro already have plans to create a line of figures based on the designs they have in store for this upcoming game. And apparently they're going to be heavily G1 inspired. So that's the second reason why I think this mystery project they say they'll be revealing soon is Transformers Online. My third reason would have to be the message that was relayed by the CEO of Certain Affinity, because he said something that sort of reconfirms what I said earlier about how they've essentially been working on this game for years. He says, and I quote, "We have been building towards this project for the past few years. We're thrilled to have signed an agreement to lead development on our most ambitious title to date. This game is our creative vision to lead, and our team is exceptionally passionate about it." So yeah, if they've been working on this mystery project for years, then there's a high probability that it's TF Online. I'd also like to point out that they've been working on this game before the pandemic started, and now it's going to be a little difficult developing it because they're going to have to work remotely from the comfort of their own homes. But they had the Transformers game and license since 2017, so it's at least been 4 years and some change since they've been working on it. And even though they've been radio silent about this project, there were a few moments where they gave us some clues to stay on their scent. Like in this one particular picture they posted on their official Facebook page. They put up this pic talking about how they're all about practicing good posture and proper monitor setups. And usually if you saw a post like this, you think nothing of it, right? But if you're one of those individuals who tries to find hidden clues in anything, you probably noticed a couple things that are very cryptic in this picture. You obviously notice that they have the monitor with Certain Affinity on it, and you see the words top secret, which is alluding to the current project they're working on. You also see a couple figures sitting on their desks, one of which is a reference to their previous business ventures, which includes working with Microsoft on Halo. But if you zoom in very closely to their pin holder, you will notice a very familiar looking character within the Hasbro universe, and that is Optimus Prime. Particularly War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. And I like to believe that Certain Affinity did this deliberately to remind us that this game is still a thing. Like, I just have a nagging suspicion that we'll be getting the official announcement very soon. But anyways guys, I want to know what you think about all of this. Do you think this mystery project is Transformers Online? And are you still interested? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, I ask you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. Any feedback is good feedback and will only help me improve on my future videos. But if you really enjoyed the video, it would help me out greatly if you shared it with all your friends and followers on social media. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.